Hello, I'm Alex Watkins and this is Timothy Hegan. Do you want to say hello?
Hello.
Yeah, cool. This is Jam Sandwich. It's our show, our little tube cast, where we involve music, film, articles we've seen on the internet, stuff like that, and we share it with you guys because we feel you should know about it. That's basically it. So let's get started. Now, before we get started, I just want to say neither of us are qualified or have any authority on anything we say, because I think they should know that. Yeah. We're both graduates. I'm a graduate of animation and visual effects, and you are?
I'm a graduate of audio and music technology.
There we go, but that doesn't mean anything. We're not actually experts in that field yet.
It means I know how to record the podcast.
Yeah, and I can animate a little thing to go with it.
Yeah.
That's it, yeah. So that's us. And if you like the show, by the end, please subscribe and share it with all your friends, and hopefully we'll reach as many ears as possible. So let's get started. What's the first thing on the agenda, Tim?
It is the film review.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Right, so today we're doing the film Primer, which is a 2009 film directed by Shane Carruth.
No, it's not.
What are you talking about? Yeah, it is.
2004 film, isn't it?
No. Oh, he's right. Why did I think it was 2009? Directed by Shane Carruth, starring Shane Carruth as the main character, or one of. Produced by Shane Carruth. He wrote it. It was on a budget of about $7,000.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous. Amazing. That is insane, considering nowadays studio films. I mean, it was an indie film, but even at indie standards, that's not a lot of money to go on.
No, especially considering it's a film about time travel.
Yeah, which usually you would expect.
Yeah.
You need a lot of money to do properly, but...
Yeah, but they've managed it with $7,000.
Yeah.
Which is pretty impressive.
I take my hat off to that dude.
Yeah.
That was good.
So, yeah, what did you think of it?
Really good.
Yeah?
Yeah, I basically was so confused for a lot of it. And I thought, when I finished the film, I thought, this is one of those films where I'm sure I've missed 1,000,001 little bits that they've put in and they've been too clever about. And I haven't noticed because I was watching it whilst eating breakfast and not paying 100% attention.
Yeah.
Well, it was alright there because, it's like two birds, one stone.
I was massively confused for a lot of it, but I found that it did make more sense at the end. Mm-hmm. It sort of drew it together at the end, and I was kind of like, oh... Didn't explain everything to me, but... Well,
I just want to say, for our listeners, we're not going to spoil the movie. We don't do that.
No.
We're not going to do any spoilers. We're just going to review it sort of as clean cut as we can without giving anything away. So, when I finished the movie, I went online and typed into Google, understanding Primer, because I knew that some nerd would have written an article. And lo and behold, there it was, in very easy to read paragraphs. And if you've got to read it, because when you understand what's going on fully, it is mind blowing.
Well,
you carry on.
I was just going to say, I was confused by it, but I kind of knew as I was watching it that if I had understood it perfectly, I probably would have been quite amazed by it. And just with that alone, that was enough to make it, to have admiration for it.
That's it, yeah. I mean, there's so much complication in time travel in movies. Every movie does it a little bit differently, which is what I really like about it, because it's something we don't understand. We haven't done it. There's not like a book on time travel 101. You can't get that.
No.
So I love it when a film like this comes out that's not your generic, easy-going time travel, that is meant to make people like it for what it is but understand it easily. Like, this was like, screw you, if you're not a genius, you have to read about it afterwards to understand the movie. Yeah. And I like that.
But
that's cool.
Consequence of that is that it's not that accessible. I mean, should you have to go on Google and find out what went on after you've watched a film? Good point.
And I think that that means its target audience is slightly smaller.
Yeah.
Which is cool. It's an indie movie. They don't want to reach everyone.
Yeah.
It's one of those movies they'd rather have it be brought up in the great library of like classics than it have sold a lot, which is
I suppose
I think will happen.
Yeah, with a small film like that, you might as well go all out and not dumb it down in any way. Just try to make it that little bit more accessible.
Yeah, man.
You might as well just try and do something brilliant.
Let's break it down a little bit more. What did you think? First of all,
we haven't
done a synopsis, have we?
We haven't really explained the premise, so...
Do you have a premise prepared, or should I read the IMDb synopsis?
Well, my premise would probably be that it's basically a couple of regular scientists who are a little bit bored with what they're doing normally, which is fairly mundane and irrelevant, and they decide to create a new device, and they develop it to try and do one thing, but it kind of goes beyond their control and starts to have side effects which are quite profound, and then they eventually end up creating something which even they don't really understand, and then kind of time travel ensues, and it's all about butterfly effect and causation, and them basically losing control of themselves as they create versions of themselves and lose track of what's going on. And
I think that's a pretty good synopsis you just gave there. That works. I think one of the things I really liked about it was the fact that I didn't know, like when it was going on, I was thinking, okay, it's a time travel movie. I was thinking, I'm trying to figure out the timeline, and you can't do it. It messes it up for you.
No.
That's what's cool. You're like, which bit am I watching now? Like, is this back? Is this forward?
I tried to do that, but quickly came unstuck.
Yeah, you just have to let it go and see what you get at the end of it. And I think, like you said in the start, it ties it up quite nicely, so that if you didn't understand it fully, at least you get a grasp of like what the ending and the general story concludes as.
It's a film you can still enjoy even if you don't totally understand it.
Yeah.
Because that was me, basically.
That's it. Okay, do you have any gripes about the film? Anything you think it did badly?
I mean, I'm not sure if this is bad or not, but when it started off, there was just so much overcomplicated jargon when they were creating the machine.
Yeah, man.
That like you as a viewer, you weren't meant to understand it, but it was just a little bit over the top because they just were constantly saying things which made absolutely no sense.
It's a good way of showing that they're clever, but I agree it did go on for a while. And I was sort of like, because it's the first thing you see, you kind of think, well, I don't know what's going on yet. Does this affect it? Do I need to pay this much attention? Am I not going to understand the story later if I don't understand this bit? And I think they could have done that with a couple of scenes, and they did it with a
considering
lot.
It's only a short movie, the setup period was quite long.
Yeah, true. And it looked like maybe a fifth of the film, the setup bit.
Yeah. But one thing that I thought made it better was, you know how they had the little bits of narration that popped up every now and again, and that was almost like, as a viewer of the film, that was kind of like nice little landmarks just to tie everything back together, and just kind of like milestones along the way, which made it a little bit easier to
just summing
regroup
up
and understand
summing up what's happened in the last few minutes, so that you just have a little bit of a break from trying to figure out the mess of craziness that's going on. One thing I didn't like was, did you notice how, I know it's a low budget film and they only have a small cast, but there were cast members, like the females, like I didn't really get it, like it was his wife.
Yeah, that was weird.
And then there was another woman, and they didn't say anything. There's a lot of people that's had like one line, and I know they can't pay all these people because they're like, oh god, can you just be an extra? You just got to come in, make a chicken sandwich, we'll even pay for that chicken sandwich for you, then you sit down on the sofa and look pointless to the plot. But I felt like it made it feel fake.
Yeah,
because that doesn't happen in a normal house.
That little bit with the wife or whatever she was was a little bit arbitrary and
confusing. You don't want to add confusion to a film that's already mental in the places where it should be simple.
I think they were trying to set up some sort of implication in terms of the characters' personal lives, and like you're meant to think that whatever's going on, you know, there's a family at stake, basically.
Yeah.
And that, I think that's all it really was.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Okay, so in conclusion, because I think we can probably wrap up the film.
I mean,
there. You got
perhaps we
anything else
should
you
say
want
a few words about the soundtrack.
Okay.
Because I think, again, that it got better as it went along, but towards the beginning, they were trying to do that sort of thing that they do in some movies where there's a section of dialogue and then a section where it's just music and stuff happening in the background but no dialogue. And so it's kind of like music, dialogue. But the fades were kind of like a bit jumpy and the music just ended up sounding a bit disjointed and kind of like just shoved in.
So you think it worked towards the end of the film a lot better?
Yeah,
but at the start it was a bit...
towards the end of the film, in the middle and the end, just like kind of seemed like a proper movie soundtrack, but at the start it just sounded like a few random bits of music thrown in here and there that weren't really appropriate. Like at some parts, there were some parts where a song would start playing and it didn't seem to really reflect what was going on in any way. But you know,
did you get the feeling that I had, which was that they were before their time, Atticus Ross and Trent Reznor style?
I don't know who that is.
No, this is pointless then if you don't know.
I'm sorry.
Okay, to anybody out there listening, if you watch this film and you think it sounds like Atticus Ross and Trent Reznor before they were in movies doing that sort of thing, then comment and say, Tim, you should know that.
Okay.
There you go.
Alright.
Because you should. Because they're really good at soundtracks. And they do. The reason I say it is because there's a lot of it where, you know, you've got some sort of like white noise and maybe like a feedbacky sort of sound. Yeah. Building tension, just like raising up like to something. They do that all the time. Just to sort of give it a sort of, I don't know, a sense of you don't know what's going to happen. Yeah. That sort of thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But you know, I mean, I always think when I don't notice a soundtrack too much, which I didn't in this film, it didn't like grasp at me. I always think, you know, they didn't do an amazing job, but they definitely didn't disable the film in any way.
It worked. I mean, I was paying attention to it because I knew that we were going to be sort of reviewing it, and I'm just interested in soundtracks anyway. So yeah, I was actively looking out for it.
I totally forgot we were going to be reviewing this whilst I was watching it because I was so into it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was really enjoying it as well, but yeah.
Yeah. So, if you want to watch this film, it's a really good movie, in my opinion. What are you going to give it?
What, out of
10? Yeah.
Yeah, 7.5.
Okay. I'm going to give it an 8.5.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Alright.
There we go. So if you're going to watch that film, we're going to put a link in the description below to where you can find the article that explains it, because you'll need to read it afterwards. You're not going to... If you are one of those people who watches it and understands it fully, then well done. But that's like 1% of the world. Because, man, I don't even think the editor understood it. He was probably like, man, I don't know if I'm doing a good job or a bad job because I don't understand what I'm doing. It must have been a very difficult job. Yeah. But cool as hell. And for that little money, you know. Awesome.
Yeah. That's the thing that I was trying to bear in mind.
Yeah.
I was really blown away when I saw that it was a £7,000 dollar budget.
Yeah. And you know, if they had a big budget, it wouldn't have been as good because they would have taken away some of the power from the director. They would have gotten in people that they like. They would have had influences from more people. When you get a bigger movie, you get more people weighing in, and the whole thing of too many cooks spoil the broth, that happens. So yeah, I think it's an awesome thing.
So that's Primer.
Boom, Primer.
Music time, is it?
Yeah, man.
Alright.
Let's give them a song.
Yeah.
What's our first song? You've got the first choice.
I do.
Yeah, what are you going to
play?
I
will always have the first choice.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Will you?
Well, I think so.
Can I have it one time?
Okay, maybe if it's your birthday or something.
Oh, that's so long away.
Yeah.
Okay, you got the first choice.
Well, anyway, here's a song
what are you going to play?
I think everyone should listen to, which is Big Wave, and it's by Jenny and Johnny.
You want to tell us a bit about Jenny and Johnny?
Jenny and Johnny, sort of surf rock duo. I think her name's Jenny Lewis, and she kind of pops up in various forms under like Jenny and Johnny.
As
I think
a mermaid?
she does. No, not a mermaid. I mean musical forms.
As a quaver?
Yeah.
Not the crisp?
Yeah, she's a quaver, yeah.
Okay, good.
She's not a human being.
Fair dues. That's why she's probably really good at music.
And her music's kind of cheesy, so...
Oh, I see what you did there. I like it. Okay, let's give it a listen.
Yeah, big wave.
Living your life in the gray.
So, one of the things we want to do with this podcast, tubecast, whatever you want to call it, thing, is we want to have a drink with everyone, but make it a different drink each time. Now, obviously, we're probably going to go through a lot of different beers, a lot of different wines, so they're not going to be a different drink every time. You couldn't do that. It would run out really quickly. But today, we have a Rioja red wine called... Wait, are we advertising or not? We shouldn't name it. Let's just say we're drinking a Rioja.
I reckon you can name it.
We can name it? That's free advertising. To be fair,
No,
I don't mind
okay,
free
don't name
advertising these. Because it's quite nice.
You can...
Do you reckon we should
Name it.
judge it and we should name it if it's good?
Because I'm thinking, I mean, say you had a Pinot Grigio.
Yeah.
It means nothing to them. Just the fact that it's a Pinot Grigio, like, it could be any Pinot Grigio.
Nah, but if we say it's an Italian Pinot Grigio, then they could go to the shop and have an Italian Pinot Grigio and they would all taste fairly similar.
But surely there's quite a lot of variation.
Okay, let's say the brand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so this is called El Coto, which, presuming from the picture and the fact that it's Spanish, I'm gonna say it's Spanish for stag. But I don't
Okay.
actually know. I'm just gonna say this, because you know it's got a picture of a stag.
Okay, so we've got a wine which is called something that might be the Spanish for stag.
Yep. And it's a Spanish wine, because all Riojas are, I think. So
Okay.
yeah. So Rioja means red in Spanish, so I figure, you know, it must come from Spain or the Rioja.
Yeah.
So we've got a Tempranillo grape, selected in vineyards located in the high slopes. Sounds interesting. Pretty good. And it balances between fruit and oak. And the harmony of its sweet and elegant tannins make El Coto a wine with distinctive style. So yeah, what do you think of the wine?
I'm enjoying it. I think it's really good.
It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it's lovely actually.
Lovely bouquet. Yeah. Very...
yes.
Wait. Yes, quaffable. Yeah.
Quite.
Yeah.
Quite.
Yeah. That's if you guys don't know, you when you drink wine, you've got to say it's quaffable because you sound like a posh knobhead.
That's really important.
And everybody needs to be a posh knobhead when talking about wine. Yeah, especially around other posh knobheads. Then you can all bask in your ignorance together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you have an audio anecdote for
Yeah.
us, don't
Well, I wouldn't call it an anecdote, but I've got some pretty cool.
you? Is it some news? Is it audio news?
It's I guess about a month old or something, but I guess you
Okay,
could call
so-
it news. But it's fairly recent, but it's just really cool.
So it's recents.
Recents, yeah.
It's not news, recents.
It's recents.
So we've got some recents for you. Tell us about it, Tim.
All right. Well, this is pretty cool, right? And basically, what it is that MIT have figured out a way of reconstructing audio by using a video signal. So, to give an example, what they've managed to do is take a video image of a crisp packet, which is in the same room as two people talking, and then via the tiny vibrations that crisp packet makes due to the sound hitting it, they can reconstruct the speech of the two people
Really?
down to the level where you can hear perfectly what they're saying.
Whoa.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah. It's pretty
Okay,
amazing.
now that sounds like one of those things where I go, that's awesome. Does it have an application? Or do they not know yet?
I think it
It's
does.
one of
I
those
mean,
things where it's like, it's cool research, and they're like, this could definitely do something. We don't know what it is yet.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it has an application in terms of like, I don't know, like a spy or something, because
Oh yeah, it does.
imagine you've got two people in a hotel room having a conversation. Previously, you'd have to like bug that hotel room, so you'd have to gain access. Now, you could figure out what they're saying without going into that hotel room, and you wouldn't even have to be close to it as long as you could.
But you'd have to have a camera on something.
Yeah, a crisp packet.
But the crisp packet has to be in the same room.
Yeah, well, lots of people eat crisps.
Yeah, but how'd you get a camera in there?
You can do it through a window. That's
Oh,
what
it works through a window.
Yeah.
Cool.
Because basically,
What about the refraction? Or do they have to take that into account?
that wouldn't. Would that make a difference?
I don't know.
Well, evidently it doesn't.
Do you have more facts?
I do, because basically, MIT obviously don't want to give away the ins
Oh
and
yeah, they
outs
know
of
they
it.
tell you how to do it, exactly.
And so basically, some other scientists have tried to do it, and so they've attempted it with leaves and things like that. And we'll put the link up, but you can go to this article where it shows you various things. And in one example, there's some music being played towards some leaves of a plant, and then they use the video thing and monitor the vibrations, and then it shows you the little sonograph thing, and you can hear the audio like before and after, if you know what I mean. And they play a little tune, and you can hear perfectly tune. I mean, it's a bit distorted, but it's in the same
That's
pitch.
really cool.
And then there's another one where like it works through glass, because they have some soundproof glass, high speed camera, and then a crisp packet, and it's like a good couple of meters away, but just zoomed in. And then I think with that one they're talking, and you can hear what they're saying.
Pretty awesome tech.
Yeah,
I like that.
I mean, it's just amazing, because the movement of that crisp packet, like we're talking about what, like a hundredth of a millimeter,
small,
something
nano
like that.
measurements.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Oh, crazy MIT dudes
So yeah,
doing some cool stuff.
if you in the future are having a candid conversation about something sensitive, and there's a little old crisp packet,
Beware.
a little bit of quavers in the corner there,
Yeah.
just lying around, just
Man,
close your
See-
curtains.
you could be on trial, and they go, "Bring in the witness," and they put a crisp packet on the table, and they go, "Do you swear by the truth, nothing but the truth," or whatever they say, and the crisp packet does nothing, but then they go, "Ha! He's got you anyway."
The
'Cause
truth,
we've got the video.
the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
That's the one.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. Nice.
I was trying to think of a crisp joke, but
Yeah, it's pretty tricky off the cuff with
it
crisps.
is, yeah.
Yeah, we already did one earlier with the quavers.
Mm.
You can't do too many crisp jokes.
We
in
can't-
one-
let's face it,
in
we can't
one
beat that.
podcast.
We can't beat that.
Yeah. Okay, so with all of the stories and articles that we say, we always put the link to the web pages in the description, so
Yeah.
that you can look it up further. Because we're not going to tell you everything. Go on the articles,
And to
look it up
really,
yourself, learn about it.
to really get an idea of this, you need to hear the actual audio as well. So
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I recommend that.
Check it out. Okay, so it is now time for my song choice. So,
Okay.
yeah, man. So, have you heard of Fink?
How are you spelling that?
Fink.
Yes, I have.
Yeah, I've heard of Fink.
Yes.
Sweet. So, Fink's new album. Fink is a singer, songwriter, producer, DJ. He used to be all this sort of stuff. Guitarist.
Yep.
He's a pretty cool dude. And this is his 6th studio album. And the song that I'm going to play is the 8th track off that album. The album's called Hard Believer. And the song is called Looking Too Closely.
Alright.
And Fink's stuff is sort of like folk pop, I'd say. But one of the things I love about it is that the vocals are the most powerful thing.
Yeah.
in the song, most definitely. Like, he has such a cool, unique style of singing.
Okay.
And I think, you may pick up on more stuff than me because you have a better ear for songs.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
And so you may pick up on, like, the guitar is really good, but to me, like, I just listen to the vocals because he's got such a cool voice. Let's check it out then.
Yeah.
Looking Too Closely. The news with me. There we go. Right, so it's the news.
Still no jingle.
Nah, just the news.
Just the news.
Yeah.
All right, go for it.
Okay, so the UN have created these stamps and published them, which they feature an artist's portrayal of, which is pretty accurate. They look like photos. Like, you can tell you've seen the thing of endangered species. So what they've got, it's really cool. They've got 22 sets featuring endangered animals, and since 1993, that 22 sets has been released. So this year's collection has 12 stamps in them, and they've got stuff like, what have they got? They've got Denise's pygmy seahorse, which is 1.5 centimeters long.
Denise's?
Yeah, I don't know if that's like the name of the seahorse or Denise did the drawing.
Right.
I imagine it's the name because they wouldn't just be like Trevor's whale shark.
Well, you can tell from the other ones, can't you?
Well, it just says whale shark.
Okay.
I think Denise's pygmy seahorse is a species name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, in Latin, it's not going to be like Denise's pygmeus seahorses.
And probably it's understandable that we wouldn't have heard of it because it's endangered.
Yeah,
It's not
exactly. That's the thing. So what I like about this story is, it's a nice little story. Not nice in the way that like they're endangered, but nice as in, they're
trying to do a good thing.
They're doing a really little thing which could make a big difference. It doesn't take much to put a picture on a stamp.
No, not at all.
When you're producing stamps all year round.
And these, is this like a US thing?
Yeah, I think so. But they also have it as, they've got some different currencies. So the stamps are in 3 sets. You've got euros, dollars, and Swiss francs.
Right.
So it's global, but not like to everyone.
Yeah.
So yeah, and what's really cool is that I looked at this news story, which was from newscientist.com, which is great. But what I didn't like about the story was, it's a small thing. They've got a lot of stories on New Scientist, but they don't go into much depth about the endangered species. They just go, this is happening, it's including endangered species. So what I thought I'd do is I'd expand on it a little bit and present 2 websites to you that are important for people to just know about, we need to spread this information.
Yeah.
So the first one is on worldwildlife.org, and basically they present a list of all the known species that are endangered at the moment. So you can go up and down.
This is WWF.
Yeah.
The little panda logo. Yeah,
That's it.
Yeah.
And so you've got stuff like hawksbill turtle and leatherback turtle, which I scuba dived with the other day in Barbados, and I didn't even know they were endangered. And I was with them. Really? I was hanging out, and they were looking awesome.
Wow.
But I mean, if they go, then who am I going to scuba dive with? So that's it. And so that's just to put across the fact that, like, you look at this list and it's extensive. It's a big list. Look, I'll do a little scroll. Look, it's a big list. Got 2 pages of that. So people need to know more about what is endangered. And then the second thing is people need to know why saving it is a big deal. Because, you talk to people like famously Carl Pilkington.
Yeah.
Didn't really want to save that much stuff. Yeah, do we need them? Great little feature, but very ignorant.
Yeah.
Right, they're making a joke out of it, but really, it's pretty crazy that he thinks you can just get rid of jellyfish. Yeah.
It is.
Anyway, he's an idiot, so I'm just going to tell you why we should keep jellyfish.
Okay.
And to do that, I've got a site that I looked up called Endangered.org, and they have a little article called 10 Easy Things You Can Do to Save Endangered Species. And, it's about, like, simple things that everyone can do.
Because a lot of time, I kind of think, what can I do to say? What can I actually do to save like the Bengal tiger? Nothing.
That's it. Yeah.
But,
I mean, you get all those ones where it's like donate £10 or like adopt a tiger, and they're really good. But there's little things you can do like every day. So that's it. So just to
Such as?
So we've got stuff that's more local. So learning about endangered species in your area. Don't just think that the white rhino is endangered. That's in Africa. I can't do anything about it. That's ages later.
Yeah.
There's stuff here that's endangered.
Really?
Yeah, learn about it. You've got butterflies that are endangered.
Yeah.
You've got birds that are endangered. These sort of things all have an effect on the ecosystem. And so you can help out by doing stuff like in your garden. Like one of the things, make your home wildlife friendly. Make sure that like stuff like garbage being left out isn't affecting them too much. Make sure they can't get in and like eat something that's going to like go down their digestive system and rip them apart, like a little like can. What are they called? The little things you open cans with.
A wrinkle.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
You don't want a hedgehog eating that, thinking it's a nice tasty treat.
And it's bonfire night season next week.
Yep. Well,
Check
we don't
your
know when we're going to
bonfire.
publish this. Tomorrow, maybe.
Okay, well, I'll do that again. We've just had bonfire night.
Just in case.
Yeah. So,
Okay, yeah.
you got to remember to check your bonfire, make sure there's no hedgehogs trying to live in there.
Exactly.
Just little
don't
things like
just
that.
don't just set it up and then go set it alight. Look at it. Make sure.
Perfect little old hedgehog.
Exactly.
Sees that and he goes,
He thinks that's going to be
He
comfy
thinks, bloody
and
hell.
warm for me.
Yeah.
Little did he know it's way too warm. It's going to roast him.
yeah.
So yeah, you've got stuff like visiting national wildlife refuges, parks or open spaces like that. Places they set up for these endangered species. They're important. And
Nature reserves.
yeah, just go and see them. Like they cost a little bit to go in these sort of places, but we need to like reconnect with like nature a little bit.
Yeah.
Because we're forgetting about it.
I agree.
If you forget about it, it's not going to care, but it's going to affect us.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we need to do that.
And
anyway,
once it's gone, it's gone.
yeah, and we'll be screwed. We're screwed in a lot of ways right now. But we should not just like let that happen.
And like we take it for granted, like bird song. One of the most beautiful sounds. It's a bit of a cliche, but it is one of the most beautiful sounds.
That's true.
Not just in nature, but in the world.
Yeah,
and we just take that for granted. But that could be gone.
Yeah, man. And not only, like, I just realised that earlier I said, I'm going to tell you why we need to save them. And what I actually did was I told you how. So just to recap, I'm going to go back and do the why. Okay? So, things that people think about, they go like, okay, why have we got to save them? How's it going to affect us? Yeah? Stuff like, in the sea, you've got all this crazy ecosystem going on, loads of fish, stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
When one fish dies out, that changes the sort of the food chain of all the fish. And if they lose their habitats, like coral reefs disappear, stuff like that, they all move away, then that affects that little area with stuff like they're cleaning the water down there. They're like they have filtration systems and stuff like that. That goes on. There's loads of different ways that they affect, like not only endangered species and stuff, but like if you destroy forests, then that destroys the habitat of the endangered species, making them more endangered. But also that's like
So
deforestation, that's going into another issue.
It's not always directly the animal.
Yeah, and there's loads of different things, and they all have a little like chain of like affecting each other.
A knock-on effect.
Yeah, and something you might not know is that a lot of endangered species, we use them for medical research.
Oh yeah.
So if a little clam goes extinct, and we were using that clam, and there was a scientist, and he was like, damn it man, this clam's got something on it, some sort of protein that's like helping me fight against this disease, and then the clam goes away and is extinct, he's just lost all of his research, and that's like 10 more years you need to solve like curing a disease.
Damn.
Yeah, and I didn't know that. Like before I looked at that, like I wasn't even thinking that was one of the things. I was thinking, the obvious stuff about like changing the food chain and stuff. But there's loads of different things, so check that out too. So I think that's a cool little story.
Yeah.
That has sort of, it's made me think about looking into it more, and hopefully everybody else does.
you should check out a website. I don't know if you've been on it already, but I forget exactly what it's called, but we can link to it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a BBC thing, and you can go on there and basically you put in your date of birth, and then it gives you this big breakdown. It's all done really nicely with like really nice HTML and images and different animations and stuff. But it's kind of a breakdown of what's happened to the Earth in your lifetime.
Oh, that's cool.
So it has basic stuff like how much the population has changed, and it has like a little graph and stuff. But one of the other things that it has on it is things that have become endangered or extinct since you've been born. I.e., like how many of them were around when you were alive? Were they endangered then? Probably not.
Yeah.
Are they endangered now?
Yeah.
And it's just super interesting because it just has loads and loads of really cool stuff.
Yeah, man. And also, just for the skeptics who say extinction is natural, it just happens over time. Yeah, sure, it does. But you can't deny that we are rapidly increasing the speed at which it is happening.
Yeah.
We're just emphasising it and making it way out of control.
Yeah, and it's
a natural extinction the world can cope with because it's slow.
Yeah.
And things change to adapt to that.
Yeah.
A tiger's not going to adapt when you knock down its jungle.
No,
like, it can't just adapt.
And it's unnecessary as well because when that sort of thing happens in nature and on its own, the other animals are doing that because they need to eat to survive. The difference with us is that we're chopping down trees and stuff so that we can have certain palm oils in our Nutella and things like that we can spread on our toast and
that's
eat
it, man.
to give us 20 seconds of pleasure. That's the
messed
difference.
up, yeah. Okay, so I think we've got that out there, you know. Hopefully we've made a lot of people think. So that'll be cool.
I hope so.
So I think we got a bit heavy. Let's break it down. Like, give us a song.
Break it down
to chill us out a bit more.
Ooh, I reckon I can do that.
Sounds good, yeah.
I reckon I can probably give you a song. Right. This song, not a very well-known band, but they're really good. And the song is called Traveller's Insurance by a band called There.
You got to explain the title.
I've got to explain the name because it's basically there spelled in the 3 ways that you can spell there. It's a little English lesson in a band title.
Yeah, in case you're using them wrong.
Yeah, so it's there as in the possessive. I don't know. Their haircuts, their onions. There as in they are, and then there as in look over there.
Good description.
Yeah.
I get it. I like it. Okay, let's listen to that song.
You know, lately